Hello, everyone. My name is Christy Pageler. I'm the VP of Marketing at XRC Labs. And on behalf of myself and the entire XRC Labs team, welcome to Demo Day 2022. Yes. We have a really exciting program ahead for you. We're going to kick things off with our founder and managing director, who's going to walk through what XRC Labs is all about, our ecosystem, and what's going on in retail. Then it's startup presentations. We are so excited to introduce you to Cohorts 12 and 13 and have them present the amazing work they've been up to these past few months. Then we have two XRC Labs Opportunity Fund founders that are going to be highlighted this evening in the way of fireside chats. Then, finally, it's our networking session. You'll definitely want to stick around for that. We can't wait to catch up with all of you and have you all meet our amazing founders. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to XRC Labs founder and managing director, Pano Anthos.
We are really blessed to be here today with you. Thank you for coming. It has been 2 years since we've run a live production, and we are excited to bring all of our startups today in front of you. But before we get started, I'd like to take 15 seconds of silence, if that's okay with you, to remember the folks, many folks, 1 million people who died of COVID. It's been a catastrophe for us, for certainly all of us have been affected in one way or another. So if we could just bow our heads, close your eyes, and we'll get started. Thank you. It is a real privilege to be in front of you today. Our startups have worked really, really hard. What I thought we would do is walk you through a little bit of XRC, a couple minutes, get into the kind of meat of the issues, because we have a lot of issues going on today, as we have seen in Buffalo and Ukraine. And it's a kind of situation that we find that in a stormy sea, there's some really calm water that we have found with our startups. We're excited to bring that to you. So we're a venture fund and accelerator. We invest in the earliest of startups, often pre-money, pre-product, pre-anything. A couple founders, hopefully, with an idea and maybe some product to sample. We are not consultants. We focus on being really connected, we focus on being truthful, and we focus on being predictive. So we're really looking into the future. This is not the latest robot. You'll find that in any kind of trade show, conference center. This is really what we look to see as really the future of the retail and consumer goods space. Our team has expanded dramatically in the last year, and it's also been built around an investment model. So we have over 7 investment professionals now, including our partners, who are focused on bringing the best of startups at many stages into the life of XRC and the economy around. We have a great growth team, and we've opened up our operations and legal side as well, as we'll talk about in a sec. We have a new partner, Dorothy Sumption, who comes from Bain Capital, having been there for 10 years, and a long track record of being an extraordinary business development professional. So we're really glad to have her involved, as we are now opening up a new fund that is much larger in size and scope. Our fund family has expanded pretty dramatically over the last couple of years. I think 2 years ago, we hadn't even opened up the Opportunity Fund. We had just started it. So we start with the accelerator, which has the earliest of startups. It's an $8 million 2-year fund. We then opened up the Opportunity Fund as a pro rata opportunity to continue to invest. You'll hear 2 of our startups today that are coming out of that fund. And then we've opened up this brand capital fund to focus on brands, and brands exclusively, because we believe that the brand model does not lend itself well to traditional venture. Finally, and last but not least, is we opened up a little continuity fund to provide small working capital loans to startups as bridges to their forward rounds. We've actually seen great success. Terra Cafe, which is one of our startups, actually took on a bridge round outside of XRC of about $100,000, and now is doing over $7 million in revenue 18 months later. So sometimes a little bit of help goes a long way. We're still very, very proud, and I feel blessed to say this because it has nothing to do with any of us, is that our diversity is natural and prolific. Over 47% of our companies are run by women. They are both, BIPOC extraordinarily, both at the founder level and at the CEO level, and it continues unabated, which we are very excited about. The startups span the gamut. The accelerator is now mostly focused on some technology with a couple brands interlaced, as you'll see today, and a wide range of next-gen commerce, supply chain, and the like. Our opportunity fund, since we opened up, has invested in over 20 companies. It's a passive fund. We don't lead deals, but we are being called in constantly to support and help build up companies in the retail tech ecosystem and supply chain, for that matter. Our platform continues to expand. We've now added legal capabilities as well as data science. Our partnership with MasterCard has expanded pretty dramatically, that we can offer tools that normally would be only available to billion-dollar-plus brands and retailers to really early startups. Things like promotions. Are you optimizing your promotion cadence? What should your promotions be? If you ask a startup today, why did you charge and give them $200 off? You know what they're going to say? Well, that's what I did last time. Or I guessed. So that whole new model of thinking and using data to actually inform promotions, which is unfortunately part of our world today, is really critical for these startups. We continue to predict early trends. We'll be talking about the metaverse and Web3 a fair bit today. We have a couple companies, but we're also going to provide a little kind of sanity check to the entire environment. And our brand capital model has expanded pretty dramatically since we started literally a year ago. We had one corporate, Estee Lauder, involved, and now we have 5 corporates signed on this platform, and we have more coming. It is the kind of thing we don't tend to disclose much information about, but it's a relatively innovative model for building brands. The tracks we're going to run today are really obvious. The obvious ones: consumer brands, you'll see, marketplaces, consumerization of healthcare continues to be an important dimension to our work, and that came out of really the consumer focus itself. Consumers want to have more control over their health. They also don't like going to medical offices, so why can't we do this from home? You'll see more of that. Next-gen commerce and data, really thinking about the customer differently and understanding why is the customer doing what they're doing and reacting to it. We all know that Facebook ads are expensive, cost of acquisitions have gone up. This is a new way of thinking of that whole model. And last but not least, the Web3. There's a lot of hype out there, but there is some real meat to the bone. All right, so now let's talk about retail for a few minutes, because that really is kind of the heart and soul. What we get called in a lot now to provide advice to very large corporations in the retail and consumer goods space who are looking for insight as to what's the consumer thinking, what's going on. And we're not consultants, so we do it as free advice. We actually are venture investors. Well, the first is we're going to see more closures. And that's actually not us, that's UBS. And I think that's a very accurate prediction that a lot of the retail stores that exist today, a lot of them don't need to exist. There has to be a reason for existence. We'll get into that in a minute, but we're going to see the middle market continue to shrink. It's a barbell effect. We've been talking about that for 5 years. It's only accelerating now. And we actually are concerned mostly about the middle market from an economic perspective, not just from a store perspective, but from the economy itself. You see what inflation's doing right now? It's causing enormous ripple effects. We don't even know what that's going to feel like yet, and it's going to be impactful. And last, luxury and new brands continue to proliferate. With Estee Lauder, we have shown them 600 skincare brands in the last year, under $1 million in sales. Who would have thought 600 skincare brands existed, much less had $1 million in revenue? So what we're seeing is a continued innovation, a lot of movement in the space. There are industries that are getting hurt. You saw Target stock drop 30% yesterday, whereas TJX, one of our corporate partners, there's a reason for that, their stock continues to grow. But anyway, the point is that discount, off-price, it's got a huge opportunity. People always want a sale. So what we look at is we think about the lower income and the middle income and the higher income markets, and the curves are very different. Most of us, anyone in the higher income market has already snapped back to basically where they were in 2019 or before. The lower income markets, no. In fact, it's going to be a long time before that market is sustained. We also think, candidly, that the next set of elections are going to be anger elections. There's going to be a lot of pent-up anger and frustration at the economy itself. Now, what is the human being doing? What is a consumer still doing? They love to hunt. You love to hunt. We love to hunt. We love a deal. We love to find something new that no one else has. Who wants to wear the same thing everyone else is wearing? So that whole notion of discovery is critical. The whole notion of the hunt is critical. And if you're a brand or retailer and you're not delivering either hunt or value, discovery in those capacities to a consumer, you don't really have a reason to exist. In today's market, there's just too much offer, there's too many offers out there. You've got to have a reason to exist. It's got to be either based, in our opinion, on discovery, it's cool, different, special, it's a drop, 5 people in the world have it, or it's an incredible value and discount from what the market would normally be paying. That growth, what we are talking about, is, as a consequence, is not going to be by just building more stores. I don't hear anyone saying, if we build more stores, they will come. Well, Warby Parker claims that will happen. But the reality is going to be that it's going to have to be a lot more than just stores. And that was the old model. The new model is giving the consumer what they want. The first would be more payment methods. So you know, buy now, pay later. Buy now, pay later. Well, guess what? There's going to be a buy now, sell later model coming out very shortly that we've invested in. A really different way of thinking. You do this with a house. When you buy a house, you think about what it's going to be worth in the future. You don't expect the house to go to zero. You expect it to appreciate in value. That same model is going to come to product. It comes to cars. If you're in the antique car business, you're always thinking about the reseller. If you're in the art business, you're always thinking about the resale. Why don't we think that way about consumer goods? You'll see that more and more. The second thing is that the rental model will continue to proliferate because of the very issue we just described. The economic conditions are going to cause incredible dislocation in terms of purchasing behavior. So it's going to be, instead of buying the furniture, you need furniture, you're going to rent it. And it's just the way we work in the apartment and the housing markets today. It's going to be the same kind of situation, seeing ourselves. Sustainability is critical. We still believe in it. Over 30% of our companies have a sustainable angle, but it is table stakes. It is not a reason for a differentiation. It is what's expected in this market today. Now, the behavior of the stores will also change. We've said this before. We're bringing it forward again. The front of the store is the showroom. The back of the store is a warehouse. Every store is going to have has some ship from store capability, and it's only going to grow because guess what? The stores are close. Reduces the cost of logistics dramatically. And the front of the store is close. So what do I get to do? I get to experience a product, see the product, touch the product. I don't have to take the product out of the store. Logistics operations now are such and so skilled that we can move product very, very quickly upon that touch from third-party logistics centers, warehouses, and such. And the malls are very active in this space. They love the fact that they're close, and they can actually leverage their capability and that closeness to deliver great value on behalf of those retailers. The channels continue to go crazy. The head of social media for TikTok is an advisor at XRC, and it works with our startups. But as you know, TikTok is just completely blown up. And it's feeding, as you know, if I were a parent, I'd be very concerned about what it's feeding my children, so to speak, in terms of the algorithms. But it's incredibly compelling, and it's discovery. You know that every time you go on TikTok, you're going to see something new and different. You don't see the same thing over and over again. And stores should be much more like that, if you will. And the second component of it is gaming continues to just incredibly expand. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But the idea of entertainment, not for entertainment's sake, but natural entertainment. The product is entertaining. It doesn't mean putting a slide in a store, like a water slide. That makes no sense. Unless you're a pool company, you don't put a water slide in your store. But if you're Disney, and I still would argue that Disney is the most successful retailer on the planet, you go to Disney World, you cannot leave a single ride without going through what? A store. And that store is themed to the ride. And so you experience the entertainment, and then you buy the product. And we're going to see that more and more and more. Those two things have to be really tightly linked. And retailers have to get smart about the whole concept of how do we entertain our consumers. Light medical is the consumerization of healthcare. We believe very strongly that the house is the new medical office. More and more capabilities are being delivered that we're investing in, where the home is where the primary physician activity will take place. It's not blood. We're not talking about drawing blood. You could draw blood, as you can many home diagnostics tools, but more and more of the tools will be bloodless. And we're not talking about Theranos or anything like that, but the ability to actually diagnose what's going on in your human body with third-party tools and products using computer vision and machine learning that will completely transform the way diagnostics is done. Marketplaces will still grow. We believe they are the department store of the future, if you think about it, more and more of them. And that the physical product is going to be the secondary component of a touch-feel experience, but does not need to be necessary if you're doing repetitive buys. So continually, we'll see a marketplace model has expanded dramatically. Of course, there's some compression in the stock market, which we'll continue to talk about. But the reality is that Airbnb is a marketplace. It's a marketplace of your house and other people's houses. So this notion that we can aggregate an incredible variety of product and make it available is at the heart of what digital can do for you. So let's talk about Web3. Has anyone not heard of Web3? DAOs, NFTs, or Bitcoin, okay? So Web3 is an important concept that is unfortunately hitting a major hype cycle that we get very concerned about. We love Web3. The notion of a decoupled, decentralized network architecture should have been what the internet should have been, but it wasn't. However, getting there is not trivial. So we think that the starting points are things like NFTs. NFTs, if anyone has kids and bought Pokemon cards, NFTs are glorified, they're tokens. And they're representations of physical reality in a way that can be actually shared and digitized and passed around. Now, is the auction environment a little crazy right now? Is the yacht club worth that much money? Probably not. And we're seeing massive, the NFT market has taken a nosedive in terms of value, but that's okay. But they've proved the concept, which is that there's value in the sharing of the product, this digital ownership of the product as opposed to the physical ownership. And we'll be talking more about phygital later today. The currency model, and I'm going to show this next slide because it's pretty indicative. This is the Luna market that literally close to $1 trillion across the entire digital currency market has evaporated in the last 90 days. $1 trillion. Now, is it fake money? Yeah, it's artificially high, so it goes down. But the reality is going to be, if I go back here, is that the digital currency business is critical. It gives us flexibility and an articulation of value in a way that frees us from the traditional kind of government model. However, we do need oversight. And that's probably the one thing you're going to hear more and more in the market today is we need oversight. Do we need the SEC? That's a pretty heavy hand, but the reality is going to be it's going to be hard to get away from it. And a lot of people have lost their shirts in these markets, but the concept still is very valuable. And we harken back to 2000 when the internet was around and it crashed. The good companies survived. Google, Amazon, Akamai. They did great. They came out of that recession very, very well. And last but not least are DAOs. And DAOs are the notion that you can distribute and control organizations anonymously. Now, I'm not sure that that's really the future because I think you do still have some sort of central point of control, but it is a very powerful incentive to decentralize and loosely couple as much as possible. So we are investors in the category, but we're very careful about what we get into because it's been radically overhyped. So from a perspective of where XRC sits, we are really below the surface, where it's calm waters. The storm can be raging up above, but below is a very calm experience. And our startups are doing really well. They're very early, but we don't go through any of the kind of valuation fluctuations that the later stage venture funds are going through right now. And to an entrepreneur, I was asked a question, what would you recommend in this market? Make money. Make traction. Get your business going. Don't keep looking for money. If you can't make your business work, think about something else. Because at the end of the day, you can't just fund it infinitely. You've got to actually build real value in your business. So we're very much of the belief that money follows traction. Traction doesn't follow money. Okay. So the metaverse, last but not least, and I'm taking a couple minutes on this because this is a topic that has, actually, this was my company in 2006. Who knew that I was a gamer? I built highly immersive social experiences on Facebook. We were the first 3D game on Facebook. And we had socialize in real time. Does this sound familiar? Casual gaming. Does this sound familiar? Real world relevance. Okay? Way too early, and I would still argue it's too early. It's important for brands to dabble, and we would suggest strongly you dabble in areas like AR, NFTs, but the full metaverse, the full-blown experience where everyone's hanging out together and living in the metaverse world, well, let me just give you what Mark Zuckerberg said. I expect this to be later this decade, the timeline for metaverse adoption. Successful 2030s. So I don't know about you, but my LPs aren't willing to wait until 2030 to see a return on their investments. So even our metaverse, you'll see that we're much more interested in picks and shovels than we are actually in the actual experiences themselves. If we can be the building blocks, it's a great place to be. And for brands to experiment, it's a great time to experiment. But don't count on return on investment anytime soon. Okay, with that, I'm going to introduce John to take on the cohorts. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you. I gotta say, I am so excited to see you all here. So thank you for coming. My name is John Bucheri, and I'm a director here with XRC Labs. The next hour and a half is gonna go by in a blink. We have 16 super exciting companies from our latest accelerator and our opportunity fund cohorts. And I can't wait to bring them here to show them with you. Each founder is gonna have only 5 minutes on the stage, so it's gonna move really quickly. But we're gonna have a QR code up on the corner so that you can keep track of the schedule coming up. At the end of the event, we're going to open up the room so that you have a chance to meet the founders, get a drink, and meet some of the folks around you as well. We're gonna have 5 tracks that we're gonna walk through, starting with our consumer brand segment. Every time you see me, we're gonna rotate through the different segments, but we're gonna start with consumer brands. So on the topic of consumer brands, at XRC, we are committed to diversity across both our founder base and the customers that they are supporting. We believe that elevating the voice, identity, and support of demographics of underrepresented consumer groups is core to our mission at XRC. We have 2 companies across the consumer brands that I'm super excited to share with you. And the last thing I want to add is that the startups that you're going to see come up here have been working super hard behind the scenes. There's a group of 20 of them on the sides and downstairs, and they are super excited to share their message with you. So my ask is when they come, I really want to hear you guys bring them on in a true XRC fashion. They're nervous. We're all excited to have them, and it would really mean a lot. So to kick us off, please welcome me in joining co-founders Sheena Lister and Megan Andrews with BARB.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. It's so great to be here. My name is Sheena Lister. I'm the co-founder and CEO of BARB.
And I'm Megan Andrews, co-founder and COO.
So BARB is a lifestyle brand that creates styling products and community for folks who express themselves through their short hair. BARB is also a noun, an action, and a mindset. For example, Megan and I are Barbs. We have Barbs. In fact, Megs, your Barb looks awesome today.
Thank you, Sheen.
Caroline, so does yours.
Nice Barb.
And we're here to support and unite all Barbs, centering women, non-binary, and trans people who rock short haircuts across the world.
So Sheena and I cut our hair years ago, and we have never looked back, but it has been a journey.
It sure has. A journey filled with so many haircuts gone bad. I mean, really bad. And lots of questioning from people about why we went short. And of course, a lot of experimentation with product. Though our hairstyles have come a long way, one thing really hasn't changed: the product offering. Offerings across the industry continue to be almost entirely gendered, supporting women with long hair and men with short hair.
So imagine this, for us, with all our years with short hair, we were more or less forced to buy products that are made for and marketed to men. This is a great example. I had used American Crew forming cream for as long as I can remember. I'm doing my Barb one day, I look down at the label, and I'm like, they are not talking to us. Sheen, check it out. What's it say?
The official supplier to men. Nice.
In my Barb. All right, then we've got Suavecito. This is a hot seller in barber shops. That's what it is. It smells like masculinity. Here's another one. Really popular brand. Sits on a lot of shelves. It's called Kevin Murphy, another dude. Kevin, Paul, a lot of them. So we created BARB for all of us who have been underrepresented and underappreciated in the traditional hair and beauty industries. And we are the only hair and beauty brand that is centered around the identity of short hair.
In June 2021, we launched with our all-natural soft clay pomade. Unlike other brands on the market, ours is made to feel soft and creamy on the hands, not crunchy or sticky, and it has a very fresh, gender-neutral smell, not too masculine or not too feminine smelling. We currently sell through direct-to-consumer and wholesale channels, and above all, we're inspiring all BARBs to look and feel their best. We're also galvanizing our community. We love to sponsor Go BARB events, where we partner with bartenders, that's right, our version of a barber or stylist, and we sponsor one of their clients getting a long to short transformational haircut. Sometimes this lifts a little weight off their shoulders, and sometimes, most of the time, it provides an identity-affirming moment in their lives.
In just under 1 year, we've received orders from over 2,500 customers across all 50 states. We've got a 45% repeat purchase rate from those customers. We have a month-over-month average growth rate of 25%. Hope you remember all these numbers. And we've actually secured over 40 wholesale partners, shops and salons across the country. We're super stoked because last week we inked a deal with our first nationwide chain of shops. And they're going to have BARB pomade coming in their shops in a month. So we've got a 100% repurchase rate from our initial cohort of wholesale partners. We plan to keep it that way. The really amazing thing, though, is what our customers tell us. So many of them have reached out, sometimes just to thank us for existing, honestly. And other times they've let us know they're so grateful they don't have to smell like a middle school boy with their hair products. We're defining a community that hasn't had a name or a home until now.
As part of our go-to-market strategy, we're creating a one-of-a-kind program, R&D program, called the BARB&D, where we're partnering with stylists who are helping us develop new products for all short hair textures and types. And they're not only getting compensated for it, they're getting credit on our marketing channels too. Through this program this year, we are developing 3 new products that will be launching Q1 of next year.
So we're here so that someday, literally anyone with short hair will feel confident, accepted, and understood. And we're focused right now on the 24 million women, non-binary, and trans people here in the US rocking short hair. Ultimately, though, our goal is to be the short hair brand across the globe.
I'm a 2-time startup founder with over 15 years of experience in sales, partnerships, and VC-driven growth.
I'm a Stanford grad with over 15 years of brand and marketing experience from my time at Sierra Nevada Brewing and Cliff Bar.
We like to say that BARB isn't just a product, a brand, or a company. It is, in fact, a mindset and a decision to move through the world living your true, authentic self. And we wholeheartedly believe that the future is BARB. So, Webster Hall, let's give it up. What do you say? Are you ready to go, BARB?
Let's go!
Everyone, my name is Zarina Bahadur, and I'm the CEO and founder of 123 Baby Box. 123 Baby Box is a monthly subscription box for first-time moms, providing them a box of joy for their bundle of joy. Meet Megan. She's a first-time mom that spends pretty much her whole day researching the best blogs for the best baby products. Is this organic? Does this teether contain chemicals? Should I use a cotton or muslin swaddle? Which lotion is good for sensitive skin? Now, she can continue to research everything on her own, but she wants a new experience, a more tailored approach. She wants the right products to come to her instead of her doing all the research. That's why I created 123 Baby Box. 123 Baby Box delivers curated boxes tailored to the baby's age and developmental stage and convenient monthly deliveries. We do all the research and discovery for Megan, so she doesn't have to waste her time in trying to figure out what products are needed at what stage. Baby Box makes the discovery process a fun surprise instead of an overwhelming task. Megan simply goes to our website, pops in the baby's age and gender, selects her preferences, and boom, our team gets to work in building the perfect box for her baby. She will then receive a monthly delivery filled with unique items fit for her baby. Megan can now sit back, relax, and enjoy knowing the research and discovery is done for her. Last quarter alone, we tripled our customer base and are growing 37% on average per month. We've received over 100 reviews equaling 4.8 stars, 70 of which are 5-star reviews. In fact, our customers love our boxes so much that 16% of our customer base has actually come from referrals from other customers of Baby Box. We've also seen great press and have been featured in Medium, BuzzFeed, and Forbes. Society is constantly changing and rapidly evolving, so why does mom still have to sift through the infinite amount of product offerings? It's becoming more and more complicated to be paired with innovative yet unique items that are still useful. We're not going to let analysis paralysis take over mom. Instead, we're going to be the reason why she can make better informed decisions when it comes to her baby. After all, nobody is there to hold your hand during parenthood, but we sure will. Every giggle, every milestone, every step. We're going to be there, providing solutions to families that need us. After all, there are 3.7 million new moms each year. That's a lot of new moms, and that's a lot of baby products they're going to have to buy. And do you know where they're going to buy it from? Online. In fact, 64% of new moms purchase their baby products online. This is an evergreen niche with a $9 billion market size, and that's in the US alone. Yes, I'm only 23, and no, I'm not a mom. I started this company as a master's student in college at UCI and was able to leverage my resources and network to win first place in our school's competition out of 114 startups. Along the way, I've brought on our fantastic CMO, Christian, who shares the same vision as I do. We are on a mission to help the first-time mom on a better product discovery experience. I'm very excited to announce we recently signed a deal with Aeroflow Healthcare, one of the largest breast pump distributors in the US, to send us 1 million customers through their lead pipeline, all of whom are moms. In fact, we've reached out to 20% of them and have seen an open rate of over 15%. Thanks to this deal that we just signed and the massive growth we're going to experience, we're currently raising a seed round right now, which has been over halfway subscribed already. Thanks to 123 Baby Box, first-time moms can now be paired with innovative yet unique items without all the hassle. Let us guide you through the discovery process. But that dirty diaper, we'll leave that one to you. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Al Sambar, general partner at XRC. Many of you know me out there. I focus on the later stage funds, our opportunity fund and brand capital funds. And Pano talked about it earlier. We believe in disruption, we predict disruption, and then we make bets on where we think it's going to go. I'm going to do 2 of these fireside chats today, where we're going to highlight some of the companies that have come into the Opportunity Fund in areas where we think there's big change coming. Larissa is going to, I'll ask her to introduce herself in a second, but she's in an area related to grocery. We believe the entire future of food and how food is made, produced, and even consumed is going to change dramatically over time. And the grocery store of yesterday will not look at all like the grocery store of today, tomorrow, including how food moves to the market. And we saw an explosion of new categories of SKU, more SKUs that could ever fit on that little shelf in your grocery store. And we said the supply chain has to change. So that's why we invested in Larissa and her company, Pod Foods. Larissa, why don't you explain a little bit about why you started Pod Foods and what it's about?
Yes, absolutely. So my name is Larissa, and my company is Pod Foods. We are a full-service B2B marketplace in the grocery supply chain. So what that means is we're basically taking the place of the need for incumbent distributors for a segment of the market that we focus on, which is emerging brands. So basically, if you're not that familiar with grocery, if you go into a retail store and you're buying something off the shelf, well, it had to come from somewhere. So the retailer bought it typically from a distributor. That's the middleman that buys it from the brand and resells it to the retailer. But those big incumbent wholesale distribution models squeeze out small business. And so we saw that as directly counter to the macroeconomic trend of consumers wanting more personalization, wanting more small to medium-sized businesses, which are driving the majority of growth in the industry. And those brands are really struggling to reach retailers because of the distribution system. So instead of working with distributors, they'd be going direct and hustling their products in retailer by retailer. And ultimately, that's a lot of fragmentation, and it creates this gigantic barrier to entry for the products that consumers really want. So that's the company in a nutshell. We connect brands and retailers with a new business model in that space, which allows us to move faster than any other national distributor to onboard brands and to sell any product to any retailer regardless of order volume. So how I got into this and why I'm doing this is because I used to have a brand. I used to be one of those manufacturers that was out there trying to cater to consumer demand and ran up against the challenges of the supply chain myself.
So you said whoever retails, but today I can order retail from my Whole Foods or Safeway, but I can also get it from Postmates or Uber. How has that affected your business?
Well, it's helped our business grow because even online retailers have to order from distributors. So before there was this whole wave of the direct-to-consumer delivery services, there was a first wave of online retailers like Good Eggs and things like that, where basically they would just mail you the groceries or have their own delivery system for the groceries. Even those retailers have to order from distributors to stock products. Now, the new wave of direct-to-delivery services tend to be more data-driven. I mean, they've got hundreds of millions of dollars in most cases, and so they're trying to do it a little bit differently and use technology. And for us, that has created also an acceleration because not only are they our customer, but they are also putting pressure on traditional retailers to respond and bring in the products that consumers want more of faster instead of waiting 6 months or more for a regular distributor to onboard the product that they've identified.
So one of the reasons we discovered Pod Foods was we have a lot of companies coming to us that are reinventing food. It could be keto, plant-based, whole grains, like every category is exploding with new types of products. And I can't move 53-foot containers through an old UFI building, So it was one of the reasons we discovered you. Who else is using you for discovery? You've got to be on the front end of trend, I would imagine.
Yeah, so because we have this new business model in the space where we don't buy and sell product, instead we're a pass-through. So it's a marketplace model which enables us to represent any brand regardless of order volume, and predict what should be in which warehouse facilities based on that order volume and predicted demand. So we see the trends before anyone else because we're collecting real-time data about all of the orders that are happening across all of our retailers, and we're able to do store-specific recommendations. So if you're a retailer, you don't have to optimize just for a region or for the whole country. You can optimize store by store based on that specific demographic and what they might be looking for in a specific area. So yeah, we see lots of trends, and it's fun to watch it. But I guess the biggest trend that we see is that consumers are moving to something new all the time. They all want this idea of I know what's best for me, and I know what's best for the environment or my place in the world. And so what that lends itself to is this demand for personalization. Everybody wants something that's specific to them, and that's across all retail, not just grocery. But supply chains need to basically flip over and become demand chains so that they can reach the consumers in the way that the consumers want to be reached.
And do some of your bigger retailers, like I know some of your retailers would be like the Whole Foods and Sprouts of the world, do even those types of size retailers use you for discovering new products?
Yeah, so what we've seen is that all retailers everywhere need to bring in emerging brands. And there's really no solution besides Pod Foods that allows these retailers to do it at scale and in a consolidated fashion. So what that means is if they're going to order from our marketplace, they're going to get one delivery for those products. We figured that out at the very beginning because we had that cookie company and we knew logistics was at the core of the whole industry. But basically, every retailer, regardless of format, is trying to move in this direction. It just tends to be easier for the smaller ones to adapt more quickly. And so we started our business with independents and regional chains, and now we're starting to work with these larger enterprise accounts.
And then some in the crowd are investors, quite a few in the crowd are investors. And over the trauma, the above the water that Pano was talking about, we've seen in the fast mile space, all those very last mile delivery, it's been pretty dramatic on valuation and all of that. But you're here in the middle mile. How has it been for you? What does the market look for you looking forward?
Yeah, I mean, the closer you get to the public markets, the more you're going to be affected by all of this fluctuation, just because people decide they want to hoard their cash, or you can't really go public. But we're going into our Series B soon, and we're pretty confident about it because, like you say, picks and shovels. We're servicing a really old school industry. Of course, we also work with the volatile players, but they're a small part of our business, which is reflective of the market as a whole.
Terrific. And for a little bit of fun, if some consumer in their favorite category, help us out. Give us a little bit of a forecast. What do you see? What's a food category we might not expect that we should, if I want to look for innovation happening in the market in my grocery store, where might I see it?
Well, mushroom jerky is very hot. So I don't know if you've ever tried mushroom jerky, but we love mushroom jerky. I would say, plant-based is always the trendy thing right now, but I think there's an issue with labeling because, if something's labeled as plant-based, but it's lettuce, does that count as a rise in the demand for plant-based, or is it just that people are reporting it differently? So there's a little bit of trickiness when it comes to trends, but yeah, feel free to browse our catalog. You can't order anything as a consumer, but if you're a retailer, you can request samples and things like that of all these fun products. But yeah, definitely try the mushroom jerky. And we have a lot of good chocolate on there as well.
How about, we're very interested in sustainability. It's a big issue for us. How about packaging? Do you see change coming? Are your retailers looking for, there's a hurricane behind us. Are your retailers also selecting on packaging or sustainability at all, or is it mostly around new flavors and categories?
Yeah, sometimes. We have filters that they can look for, 1% for the planet and that kind of thing. There are all the different angles that you can take. So we have some of the brands that are pushing for more sustainable packaging and things, but for us, we're on the side of what the consumer wants, and so we're not dictating what's eligible and what's not. It's just that, it's table stakes. It's right. You got to get the product there. Nobody's coming out to create something that's deliberately bad. So they all have their own angle on it.
Well, that's terrific. We're out of time,
Okay.
And I know you're going to be around for the cocktail hour. So for anybody who want to learn more about Pod Foods, I encourage you to find Larissa after the event.
Great. Well, thank you.
Great, thank you, Larissa with Pod Foods and Al Sambar. We're going to move on to our second track for today, and that is marketplaces. As Pano mentioned earlier, we at XRC believe that marketplaces are the new department stores. They're going after largely untapped categories that the big e-com players simply aren't looking at yet. And so we're super excited to introduce two companies in this track, and we're going to kick it off with Cormac Jonas at SAVR. So please join me in welcoming Cormac.
Perfect. Hey, y'all. My name is Cormac Jonas, and I am the founder of SAVR, the first omni-channel off-price marketplace. For a long time, I have worked in the savings space and digital strategy space for brands like Expedia, Emirates, and RetailMeNot and CNN. Also, at home, my family has unfortunately been forced to shop this way because of my habits. And so we buy a lot of off-price, open box, and refurbished goods as a way to both stretch our budget and also make nice things affordable for us. The problem with it is it's a nightmare to shop this way. You have to we would have to split our kids up, take 2 cars, check multiple websites, all just to make sure we're getting the best deal on something. Little did we know at the same time, this was also a huge problem for the brands. They were struggling with retail returns pouring back in, clogging up their warehouses and supply chain. It created a ton of waste, and the vast majority of this inventory ends up going directly to a landfill or a scrapyard. So we decided to create SAVR, a marketplace that would focus solely on what we like to call boomerang inventory, the stuff that keeps coming back to brands over and over again, and matching them with consumers who are super price sensitive and want to make sure that they're either getting the best deal on an item or making the best purchase for the environment. On the brand side, we made it super easy. We're already connected to all of the systems that they use to track inventory, whether it be e-commerce, return, or marketplace. Additionally, we offer them a new data layer into the off-price marketplace they've never had before, and our pricing model aligns really, really well with what they like. We do everything on a revenue sharing basis with them, so there's no upfront cost for them. We launched a pre-sign up in early March, and the interest has been massive. So we started off with absolutely no one and launched our website with no marketing spend, and we have acquired about 162,000 users who are signed up for our beta launch. And we've been able to also scale on the SKU side of things with brands coming on. We should have just over 500,000 individual SKUs at our launch. Now, our TAM, I've struggled with this. When your TAM is the same size as the US defense budget, it's hard to put it in like reasonable sizes. But this is just a problem that is getting bigger. With the technology that we built and the systems that we've connected to, we have access to around $210 billion of total MSRP of goods right now. But the market is continuing to grow there, and we think, especially with current economic conditions in the market, that we will see more consumers becoming more price conscious into the future. We knew this was going to be a huge challenge. So I went back and got a team that I know well and have worked with for years. So my co-founder Susie and I developed and ran products at Retail Me Not for a long time. Thomas Alton was one of our main back-end engineers who built a lot of these projects as well. We also decided to get advisors from outside to come in and help us. So we were able to get Pooja Sethi to come over from ThreadUp, and Seth Randall, who's been at Kiba Commerce and a number of other e-commerce players in the space, to help us make sure we're building this product in the best way possible. So we really think with SAVR, we've developed a triple win. We're able to save consumers a ton of money on the things they want to save money on. We're able to save this inventory from brands having to throw it away, and we're able to save the planet by taking this inventory and diverting it before it goes into a landfill. So we're super excited to launch here at the end of this month, and thank you very much for your time today and for coming out to see us.
Hi, my name is Kimberly Jolasun, and I'm the founder and CEO of VILLIE. We help new and expecting mom get more support from their loved ones, up to 50% more, in fact, cash, gifts, and services. Because at VILLIE, we know it takes a village. Being a new mom can be incredibly isolating and overwhelming. Of the 3.7 million new moms everywhere in the US, 25% of them are also actually single parents. Parents often don't know how to ask for help. And first-time parents often don't even know what to ask for. On the flip side, if you are a friend, family member, or coworker of someone who's expecting, chances are you've asked yourself, I want to help, but where exactly do I start? And the answer is often, you have no idea. So you go ahead and grab something that looks like this, when in fact, mom actually wants and needs something that looks like that. Parents need all the help they could get. Loved ones want to help with meaningful, useful gifts, so VILLIE is here to bridge that gap. How it works is simple. Mom shares her unique milestones, updates, and needs. VILLIE then creates personalized prompts based on that information and make it fun and easy for friends and family to, of course, follow along, but more importantly, give based on those milestones. As a result, gifting will happen throughout the pregnancy journey, and not just at the end, at the baby shower with the cold gift from the baby registry at month 8 or 9. So to test out our key assumptions, we actually went back and picked one of the first milestones that happened in the pregnancy for a lot of families, which is the gender or sex reveal. We created a simple game that allowed friends and family to guess the baby's gender with cash. As a result, we've already helped 6,000 moms in the US and Canada connect with hundreds of thousands of their family members worldwide.
A third of these moms have gone on to raise over $200,000 to date for their little ones. We haven't even launched yet, and we have 16,000 expecting moms in our funnel waiting. We are perfectly positioned to be a big player in this $25 billion and growing pregnancy care market. Since this market is so robust, we have several ways to generate revenue. The first one, for example, where there are cash gifts, we could charge a transaction fee. And with this model, we've already generated $40K in revenue. Secondly, because we're also targeting and retaining one of the most coveted consumer groups during an exceptionally high spend time in their life, we're extremely attractive to many companies and brands. We've already worked with dozens of diaper, formula, and baby clothing companies to date. Pregnancy is just the beginning because we all know the real work starts when the baby arrives. So VILLIE is going to be the next generation gifting platforms that help these parents support their little ones from baby to the toddler's first words to the kid's first day at school. And now has never been a better time for VILLIE. Right now, we're sitting in the middle of the millennial baby boom. And I should know, I fell right into that statistic, welcoming a baby girl just 5 months ago. Thank you. Now, as a mom of two, I've studied public health with a concentration in maternal health. I've studied prenatal and postpartum, both academically and professionally, for almost 10 years. My co-founder is Sam Beal. She has a master's in computer science, 10 years of experience as a developer, and has worked with some of the top companies, including MailChimp, Accenture, and the Department of Defense. Tonight, I'm happy to announce that we have launched our pre-seed round just this week, and we're already 50% committed. If you see yourself as an angel or a strategic partner, you must join us. And in joining us, you'll be helping to transform early parenthood. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Kim and VILLIE. Our third track is focused on the consumerization of healthcare. Recently, we've seen a wave of innovation in this space. Startups are delivering breakthrough technologies, allowing our homes to turn into modern medical offices. We have 4 super exciting companies in this area that I'm really excited to share with you. To kick it off, I'm going to pass it to CEO and founder Sung Park of FYXX Health. Please join me in welcoming Sung.
Hi, my name's Sung Park. I'm the founder of FYXX Health. Thanks for joining. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my background. I started a bunch of companies, and really the common denominator in all those companies is the question, what if? So what if I could make a pair of jeans that fit you perfectly? That was custom clothing technology. We sold that to Levi's. It became the Levi's custom fitted jeans. What if I could take your picture and print a perfect set of makeup for you? That was Equality Cosmetics. So the big burning question for FYXX Health was, what if we could make cookies and snacks good for you? Wouldn't that be absolutely awesome? So that became our mission. We wanted to reinvent the $42 billion snack market by making them taste good and be good for you. Now here's the problem. Snacks are fun, but they're terrible for you. Sugar, high fructose corn syrup, refined carbs, just pure poison. On the other hand, supplements are good for you, but they're no fun. Nobody enjoys choking down a bunch of pills every morning. So what we think is going to happen is there's going to be a merging between the $42 billion snack market and the $40 billion supplement market. And at that intersection is going to come an interesting space where we can actually create a new category of foods that we call functional snacks. And indeed, if you talk to Gil Horsky, who runs Snack Futures for Mondelez, they think the exact same thing is going to happen. So at FYXX, we put good stuff in fun stuff. We take clinically proven actives like fiber. Probably 90% of you are fiber deficient. Half of you have a magnesium and vitamin D deficiency. And we hide them in low carb, low sugar cookies, candies, gummies, and snacks, making it kind of fun and easy to eat healthy. So here's how we do it. We take something you're familiar with, like a cookie or a donut. We take out the sugar, we take out the refined carbs, and we add clinically proven actives. And those actives are sourced by the big science houses like Cargill, Archer Daniel Midlands, and Curie. And they've run the clinicals that allow us to piggyback on the claims. So which one are you going to give your kid? High sugar, high carb, low sugar, low carb, vitamins, minerals, fiber. kind of a no-brainer, but I know what you're thinking. What do they taste like? So we actually developed these in conjunction with a CIA-trained chef. We think they taste really good. We've got some samples over here, or even better yet, go to FYXXhealth.com and order some like today. I gotta hit the number panel. We've got a unified brand portfolio of snacks. They target gut health, bone health, brain health, heart health, and various chronic conditions. And here's a little sneak peek at some future development. We've got a cookie where we've identified a peptide that instructs your body to burn sugar and fat, which means this will be a cookie that enables you to lose weight. It's in test right now. If it works, it's going to be a very interesting game changer. The next question that always comes up is, hey, isn't there a lot of competition in this space? And in the snack space, yeah, there's a ton of competition. And in the supplement space, there's also a lot of competition. But at that intersection, there actually isn't that much competition. So for some reason, the food guys are very leery about supplements. I mean, there's a couple of exceptions. You know, Cheerios adds phytosterols to their cereal, and they're able to make heart health claims. They've turned that into a billion-dollar brand. But there's not a lot of other examples. The supplement guys tend to be run by either kind of geeky chemists or guys with really big necks who sell protein powders, and they're not really good at the food stuff. So we're not seeing a lot of action in that space in the middle where there's vitamin cookies, cookies that help you lose weight, cookies that are good for your gut health. We launched late last year with 13 products. We're going omni-channel. We're getting good traction on Amazon right now. We just landed our first retail pilot, and so we're off to the races. It's a lean team. It's myself. It's my co-founder, Yana, who's really the heart and soul of the company. She does operations, finance, marketing, really a supply chain. And Stacy's my other co-founder. She's our nutritionist, and she helps us develop our products. So final what if? What if all foods were good for you? What if you didn't have to choose between, oh, this is good for me, or this is bad for me, I should eat this, I shouldn't eat this. If all foods were good for you, that's our vision of the future. We hope you join us. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alexandra Soa. I'm a dual board certified physician and founder and CEO of SOWELL Health. In my successful New York City-based metabolic health and weight loss practice, I noticed a trend. Patients would come to me complaining of symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, irregular periods for years, but had yet to find a diagnosis. They'd tell me, well, my doctor ran tests and says everything looks fine, but I don't feel well. And I'd look at the same set of labs, add in a few other key markers, and with my specialty training, 9 times out of 10, I would find that they had something called metabolic dysfunction. And my patients aren't alone. In fact, 88% of Americans have metabolic dysfunction. And yet, it often goes undiagnosed because the traditional medical system doesn't teach us to look for it. At this point, you're probably wondering, but why does it matter? Metabolic health is defined by 4 key components: healthy blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, and weight. And while the immediate effects of dysfunction might be subtle, some weight gain, brain fog, over time, ignoring metabolic health can have some pretty big repercussions. In fact, the majority of chronic disease in this country is rooted in metabolic dysfunction and is the root cause of everything from type 2 diabetes and obesity to heart disease and even things like Alzheimer's and cancer. I just knew there had to be a better way to help people unlock their metabolic health than to see them one-on-one in my practice. Today, SOWELL Health offers at-home metabolic health testing, offering 90% of our consumers at least one underlying cause of their symptoms, and providing a prescriptive roadmap of next step solutions, including our personalized supplements. We're like modern fertility meets care of for metabolic health. I want you to meet Kate. Kate is actually a real customer of ours, and she was experiencing some big symptoms for many years. Things like fatigue, irregular periods, and she had recently put on about 20 pounds and couldn't figure out why. She went to her doctor who wanted to put her on birth control pills, but Kate had done that before and she knew it wouldn't make her feel better. Wanting to know what else she could do, she did what all of us would do in 2022. She Googled it. And she found on some forums a link between her symptoms and some blood sugar imbalances. But she didn't want to just take a random stranger's advice on the internet. She wanted to confirm it. And that is how she found SOWELL. We are the go-to solution for consumers looking to test their metabolic health at home. With a simple prick of her finger, Kate discovered that she had insulin resistance and a likely diagnosis of PCOS. After interacting with our portal, our educational resources, taking some lifestyle advice, and signing up for our supplements, within 3 months, Kate had reduced her symptoms significantly and lost 10 pounds, and in her own words, told us that SOWELL and its products were life-changing. And she's not alone. Meet Dan. Dan was experiencing rapid weight gain and big crashes in energy after eating. He discovered prediabetes with our at-home testing kit. One of our strengths is our streamlined customer experience. You'll collect your sample with a simple finger prick at home. Once you send your sample off to our lab, you'll log into our portal where you'll receive your physician-reviewed labs, personalized interpretation, lifestyle guidance, and recommendation for SOWELL's custom blend supplements. From there, you'll go on to join our community for continued education and support, and you'll use our products to monitor your progress. Metabolic health is a nearly $150 billion industry, and with 88% of Americans needing intervention in this space, and nearly 70% of wellness consumers expecting a level of personalization in their products, SOWELL Health is primed to be a dominant player in the marketplace. What's exciting is how we're reaching our customer. We've begun diversifying beyond our initial D2C approach and are now partnering with well-established wellness brands who have been looking for ways to bring laboratory data directly to their consumers without the headache of physician oversight. We are pursuing these pathways in both a co-branded and a powered by SOWELL option. But no matter how we reach our consumer, we just want to get our products into the hands of anyone who has their health top of mind. We are on a big mission to help the 227 million Americans with metabolic dysfunction prevent and reverse disease. And we are on our way there. What started out as a company with one product offering has grown into an online community and a cohesive family of products that work in tandem with one another. Our community was so eager for our supplement launch in March that we actually sold out of 2 out of our 5 supplements within a matter of weeks with over $20,000 in sales. To date, we've had over $250,000 in sales, and this quarter alone, we've experienced 100% growth in both revenue and customer acquisition. And we're seeing tremendous conversion on our website with over 7.5% of our website visitors turning into paid customers. I'm delighted to say that we are positioned for continued growth with more upcoming product launches, broad acquisition channels, and continued development of our online community who continue to tell us that they are eager for more. Metabolic health is ripe for innovation. We've got the right team to do it, and SOWELL's time is now. Since I can't be with you in person today, I do hope you'll check out our website and our products, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Hamza, the CEO and co-founder of STABL, and we're moving post-op recovery from the clinic to a patient's living room. This is Linda. She's a great friend of mine from university, and when I met up with her before coming here to New York, she was recovering from an ACL surgery she sustained while falling while bouldering. Now, when Linda was discharged from the hospital, she was expected to recover over 12 weeks, and to ensure she did so on time, she was given a set of exercises to start performing immediately as soon as she got home and in between the post-op appointments she has twice a week. But when I asked Linda how her recovery was going, she said she wasn't following her recovery program, that when she got home, she found the exercises boring, confusing, and there was no way for her to gauge her progress. So more often than not, she just didn't do them. And her surgeon and physical therapist have no idea. If Linda continues down this path, at her 6-week check-in appointment, her surgeon will realize she is way behind schedule, and she'll need at least 3 more weeks of treatment to get functionality back into her knee. And if it prolongs even further, she'll need to be readmitted into the hospital and need another surgery. For Linda, this is a case of unintended consequences. But she is not alone. Last year, 92% of patients failed to complete a post-op recovery program, and it cost hospitals $27 billion. Enter STABL. We are a post-op digital health platform focused on patient adherence. Through STABL, patients can recover from surgery from the comfort of their own homes, but still stay connected with their medical teams. STABL allows providers to increase remote engagement, monitor patient recovery, and most importantly, treat more patients. STABL leverages computer vision technology from just a laptop camera, where we're able to track a patient's joints as they're performing the recovery exercises to collect valuable biomechanics information like range of motion, adherence, and recreate clinical care by giving them the cues they need as they're performing their exercises. So if Linda's recovery was falling off track, STABL would notify her medical team, and they can easily jump on a quick telehealth call and address the barriers to her recovery immediately so she stays on track. But aside from Linda, we needed to know if hospitals actually needed STABL, and the response we received was astonishing. Our first partner, the United States Veterans Health Affairs, jumped at the opportunity of using STABL to extend access to care to the 9 million veteran patients they cover. Through a 5-month collaboration of co-designing and developing our solution with 40 of their clinicians, we're excited to announce we've flipped that opportunity into a pilot within 2 of their facilities. STABL is also contributing to a clinical study at one of Canada's top research hospitals, where we are collecting the valuable information and data we need to support commercialization in the coming months. But why wait months? We just signed our first private orthopedic surgeon this week, with the first patient going through STABL's recovery by the end of this month. But before we talk about STABL's future and how opportunistic it is, it's time we look at our individual pasts. Everything is coming home now. Entertainment, food, and healthcare is no different. The home has become the remote clinic. 50% of patients prefer to use telehealth if it meant it will save them time or money. And 60% of providers have adopted at least one digital health solution to improve the care that they provide their patients. In the coming years, surgeries will become ever more common to support the aging population. But hospitals are already 20% understaffed with the clinical staff they need to manage these patients' recovery, making STABL the only solution. Of the 8 million surgeries that were performed last year, 20% of patients were readmitted. If we solely focus on those patients that at-home post-op recovery complications, STABL will be able to generate $7 billion in savings for hospitals while generating $250 million in revenue. STABL's bringing an end to preventable readmissions, but that's just today. Our technology is ever improving and continuously evolving, and in the coming years, we'll be able to predict a patient's post-op recovery outcome before they even go in for surgery, allowing hospitals to reach new levels of efficiency they've never been able to do so in the past. With my background in digital and physical health, and Abhinav's technical expertise, it speaks to our ability as a team to get so much traction in just 1 year of operations. We're already working with some of the nation's top healthcare providers. STABL is giving providers the ability to treat patients once they've left their facility. It's giving hospitals the financial savings they need to grow. But most importantly, it's giving millions of patients recovering from surgery the ability to live pain-free lives while still recovering from home. We're currently fundraising a round that's already a quarter of the way committed, and we look forward to connecting with everyone after our presentation. Join us if you want to contribute to revolutionary healthcare innovation. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alexander Moore, founder and CEO of YÜMICARE, a digital marketplace connecting seniors to trained local caregivers. So this is my mom, dad, and grandmother, Gigi. She's 97 years young, and she's always been very active and independent. That is until a couple of years ago when she started needing more help with daily care. She started doing some forgetful things, and we started to get worried. So we knew that she did not want to go into an assisted living facility or nursing home, so we started to look at home care as an option. But we didn't like what we found. We found burned out caregivers, and it was a new caregiver every week, which wasn't good for consistency. And they would do things for my grandmother, but they didn't do things with my grandmother. And so she started to see her independence slip. And she felt a little bit like a child, and she felt like she didn't have a choice in what was going on. So my parents decided to move in with her. And they did it because they felt like they didn't have a choice about what was going on. And they're part of a growing demographic of people who are responsible for taking care of aging seniors in their home. And they're put in this position because there's a shortage of qualified caregivers to help seniors remain active and independent in the place that they want to be. But what if they were wrong? What if there was an option? What if there was a professional caregiver who could come in and quickly establish a supportive relationship and help people remain active and independent no matter their age or ability? Meet the YÜMI caregiver. The YÜMI caregiver is a professional caregiver who focuses on independence by helping support connectivity, safety, and physical activity. They're a professional caregiver who enjoys 60% higher wages than the average caregiver. They enjoy next-day pay and flexible scheduling. We are totally solving the caregiver crisis by making caregiving the attractive and rewarding career that it should be. While we were under the hood, we totally revamped the customer experience to stop focusing on just getting someone there to help. We wanted to focus on getting the right person there at the right time to support the unique needs of our clients and the unique personalities of our clients. So we're able to take things into consideration like personality when we're doing this match so that the relationship has its best chance of getting off the ground on the right foot. And we do this through a managed marketplace, where we do guided onboarding that allows us to build a detailed profile, and then we use that profile to match them with our caregivers. And then we have tools to help manage the day-to-day billing, scheduling, and communication that you need to have in order to have a household worker. Our caregivers can help support all the things that you or me would do for our family if we were supporting them. So companionship, personal care, medication reminders. And I'm happy to say that we're off to a great start. We started our pilot in November of last year. And if you're a caregiver in the US, you know that the retention rate of caregivers in the US is just not very good. It's about 35%. We've been able to maintain a 77% retention rate of our active caregivers, and that number is going to go up from here because we're creating a culture around the art of caring. We've also started to change the lives of our clients. I want you to meet Doris and Alfreda. Doris has been going to the neurologist for the last 3 years, and her scores have been slipping with memory care issues. And so her daughter started to get concerned, and she finally took action, and she called us. And we were able to match her with Alfreda, and the two were fast friends. Alfreda comes over just a couple hours a day, several days a week, but the impact has been miraculous. For the first time in 3 years, Doris's scores are actually going up. There are 10,000 people turning 65 every day for the next 30 years. And the in-home caregiving market alone is worth $30 billion, and that number is going to explode over the next 30 years. We're just getting started. My team is the team to make it happen. I've been in healthcare for 20 years, changing things from the inside out, and my co-founder has a degree in computer science and engineering, and we're the perfect team to make this happen. And I want to make an offer to everyone in the audience today that if you have somebody in your life like Gigi and you're navigating this difficult journey, reach out. Even if you're not in our service area, we are happy to provide a consultation to help you through this difficult time. Our vision is for YÜMICARE to be a household name for aging in place so that people like Gigi can age gracefully on their own terms. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex and YÜMICARE. Our fourth track focuses on next-gen commerce and data. At XRC, we're seeing material growth in alternative distribution strategies. What does that mean? Well, new channels really matter. And it's not just the new channels themselves, but XRC takes a lot of interest in companies that help unlock consumer behavior to really understand what makes those channels tick. And so we have 3 companies that we're really excited to show you in this track. And we're going to kick it off with my good friend Ben Kaczynski at Made Me Buy It. So please join me in welcoming Ben. Thank you.
Hi, My name is Ben Kaczynski, and I'm the founder of #MadeMeBuyIt, where we are building a distribution platform for the creator economy. The $100 billion creator economy is exploding. However, distribution is facing multiple headwinds. For creator-led brands, influencers, and emerging D2C brands, they're facing diminishing effectiveness on Facebook and Instagram and higher CAC. It also takes them 6 months to get into traditional retail, and viral TikTok brands and products are just that, solely found on TikTok. Lastly, malls are constantly looking at ways to differentiate themselves and elevate their experiences. Enter MadeMeBuyIt. We're beginning with a distribution platform of micro-footprint mall kiosks across the country for the creator economy and Gen Z. We're currently live in Connecticut. For us and brands, it's great because we can get these emerging brands into our mall kiosks in less than 21 days. And just last year, TikTok had more traffic than Google. The hashtag TikTok-MadeMeBuyIt is also a massive phenomenon with over 11 billion plus views, showing the massive opportunity between shopping and TikTok. We allow brands to get into our distribution platform in 21 days. How it works is super simple. We leverage our network of TikTok influencers to search for trending brands and products. We find the most viral products, creator-led brands, and emerging D2C products out there, purchase them at wholesale, and get them into our kiosks across the country. We also experience economies of scale. So with more kiosks, that leads to more data, which leads to better purchasing. We also then are able to increase our margins and our purchasing power. As seen on TV was a massive opportunity and a massive behavioral shift in society. And we believe here at #MadeMeBuyIt that as seen on TikTok is going to be even larger. We're building the next multi-billion-dollar Gen Z brand, and mall kiosks and our micro footprints are just the beginning. We hope to have the next 12 months locations across 100+ malls across the country, and then we'll be implementing e-commerce, live shopping, and same-day delivery, in addition to our private label and media businesses. We'll then also explore international expansion. MadeMeBuyIt sits at the intersection of the 100 billion plus creator economy and the $30 billion kiosk industry, and we're uniting these two massive opportunities through Gen Z. My name is Ben Kaczynski, and I'm the founder. I'm a 2-time venture-backed founder. I also manage a family fund with over 25 investments, with 4 acquisitions and 1 IPO to date. We recently launched with Simon Property Group, the largest mall operator in the world, which quickly allows us to scale, and there are 220+ locations right here in the US. My name is Ben Kaczynski, and I'm the founder of #MadeMeBuyIt. Thank you so much for your time.
Good evening. I'm Aditi Aji, founder of ADRICH. ADRICH is a smart chip-enabled SaaS platform that makes simple products smart. We capture live product usage data so we can automatically reorder and replenish products. Meet Brandy. She's an e-commerce manager at a CPG, and she spends millions of dollars trying to acquire and retain her consumers. Yet, her consumer acquisition cost keeps increasing, and retention rates keep going down. And on the other side, meet Lisa. She's a busy mom with 3 active children, and keeping things at home at stock is always a challenge. She's tried Subscribe and Save, but nothing really works. We are ADRICH, and we have developed the world's first smart label that tracks usage data and captures and automatically reorders products as needed. These smart labels can attach to any consumable product and instantly converts it into a connected smart product. So now, brands have opportunities to provide need-based smart replenishment programs compared to the frequency-based subscriptions that are there today. So going back to Lisa, she opts in for her smart replenishment of her favorite olive oil brand,
receives a smart olive oil bottle and activates it. Meanwhile, ADRICH goes to work and monitors her consumption, and through sensors in our smart label, it detects automatically when she's nearly running out and orders more olive oil. So making sure Lisa always has her favorite brand of products. We are live in market with 6 of the top 10 CPGs, and consumers love our product. So we have launched pilots, and after successful pilots, we have learned that 80% of consumers prefer the smart SKU with auto-replenishment capability compared to the normal SKU, and 77% of them were so thrilled with the convenience that they immediately signed up for a refill service. And in terms of ease of use, we scored really high. 99% of our consumers were very easily able to connect the ADRICH Smart SKU. So the future is not really about access to product, but really getting the right product to the right consumer at the right time. As proof, the e-commerce subscription economy has gone up by 6x in the last decade, but the churn has been very high, with at least half of the consumers canceling within 6 months. ADRICH will power every subscription service in the next 5 years for any product that's replenishable or consumable. And we are proud to announce that Amazon has recognized the value and power of our technology, and we are the engine that powers the Alexa smart reorders. We are also selected by CB Insights to be the top tech retail 100, where we are selected to the top 100 retail tech companies amongst a pool of 7,000 companies over the globe. So very exciting milestones there. And as for CPG, it's a $14 trillion market size opportunity, of which at least about 80% of the packaging could use our smart labels, and our pilots show a 33% increase in revenue. So we're talking roughly about 1.5 trillion in serviceable market, of which 15 billion is our addressable market. So clearly, a very huge market opportunity. And I have a rock star team with the right blend of industry, technology, and business experts, including management consultants and venture capitalists. And now with ADRICH, brands can really service their consumers better. And as for consumers, the next time you run out of coffee or shampoo, you'll find one at the door. Welcome to Zero Touch Shopping. We'd love to see you and show you a live demo. Please visit us at the demo table. Thank you so much.
Hi, here is the million-dollar question all brands want. How do I provide my consumers exactly what they want at exactly the time they need it? Hi, I'm Nili Lesnik, VP Operations of SOCALYTIX, the company that is here to answer this question. SOCALYTIX provides individual relevant data based on the information we all share on the open web. What do I like? What interests me? What do I need? Which is why consumers expect relevant offering from their brands. So if I'm a brand loyalist, I want to get the best offerings from my favorite brands. But unfortunately, they don't provide me any discounts for those specific items I need now. Also, brands are looking to provide relevant offering to their consumers. Me, for example, I stopped drinking milk 6 months ago. Guess who's still being prompt for milk? That's because Whole Food information says that I bought milk 7 months ago. But SOCALYTIX knows that I stopped drinking milk because I was looking at the web, searching for alternatives. So if that information Whole Food would have, they would prompt me for instance, oatmeal milk, which is much more in line with what I actually need today. So how does it work? So we receive from the retailers a list of customers, name, phone number, address, and that triggers this process that, for instance, you can see here, Kelly Smith, who loved buying in Banana Republic. She got married, she moved to a place where there's no Banana Republic store, and she's buying now in Zara next to her workplace. So Banana Republic now will send her, let's say, a 30% coupon, so she can buy online in Banana Republic and go back to be that enthusiastic, loyal customer of Banana Republic. When we think about personalized marketing, we think about the things that we are prompted to buy in our emails, Instagram feed, Facebook feed, but having that targeted, accurate information, that's what makes SOCALYTIX a game changer in the market. If we talk about the market, so we can see that in 2021, the market value was $26 billion and is expected to grow 14% annually. But with our solution, we know that we are going to grow much faster than the market. I would like to take a moment to introduce our founders, Liran Sorani and Moshe Brown, who are experienced entrepreneurs in the cybersecurity and AI sector. We really understand that when people get what they want, when they need it, they will buy. There is no question, it's very simple. So what I would like to do is ask each one of you to come and meet us and ask us this question that we started with, that million-dollar question: how do I provide my customers exactly what they want at exactly the time they need it? I want to thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Millie and SOCALYTIX. Now we're moving on to our fifth track, Web3. Web3 changes how we interact with digital channels in 3 ways with consumers. It's going to change how they experience product in digital channels. It's going to change how they consume product. And it's going to change how they pay for and are rewarded for loyalty with product. We have 3 really exciting companies I'm excited to share with you today. The first of which is Joseph Jung and DAPPBACK. So please join me in welcoming Joseph.
Can I get a little more energy? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Hello. My name is Joseph Jung. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DAPPBACK, a community growing and loyalty platform for the Web3 generation. Okay, whether you like it or not, Web3 is here to stay. There are now over 100 million Web3 users who interact with the blockchain, which means there are more and more people like Mina, the head of growth at MakerDAO, a Web3 organization who needs to reach and engage these users. But her only options today are reward systems that offer typical gift cards and discount coupons that do not relate to users in Web3. Web3 users use the blockchain every day, so they want to be rewarded with things that they can actually use on the blockchain, such as NFTs and crypto. So Mina went ahead and tried hosting one-off bounties and contests to give away crypto on every imaginable platform like Discord, Twitter, Reddit, and so on and so on. But these short-lived bounties only brought in disingenuous users who didn't stick around because they would just bounce around from her project's bounty to another project's bounty to try to win crypto. And then imagine the chaos of Mina trying to manage all of these users and campaigns across multiple platforms. Well, DAPPBACK has Mina's back. She can now bring her entire community and campaigns across multiple platforms into one blockchain reward system, with a single flow of tasks that take her users on a journey from joining her community, like with tasks like following her social channels, to contributing to her community with tasks like creating and sharing content, to ultimately using her products and services. To build and customize what we call a Web3 task journey, Mina would use DAPPBACK's dashboard to simply choose the tasks, levels, and rewards she wants to guide her users through. DAPPBACK then communicates with all of Mina's platforms to auto-verify task completions. And then the fun begins where DAPPBACK auto-distributes NFT badges, crypto tokens, blockchain rewards to users as they continue to achieve new levels in her loyalty program. We launched our beta 2 months ago with 20 paying pilot projects. We now have over 20,000 unique users who connected their wallets to DAPPBACK, and each user spent an average of 3.5 hours to complete over 40 tasks. This means across all of our pilot projects in just 2 months, they have completed over 800,000 tasks and counting. It's pretty obvious consumers want crypto and NFTs now. And let's face it, businesses go where consumers go. So to reach this exponentially growing market of Web3 users, there has been a massive migration of user experiences from Web 2 platforms to Web 3. And the user experiences we are migrating are those around community growth and loyalty. Best exemplified by today's traditional Web 2 marketing platforms like Yapo, a unicorn company who has raised over $400 million. But now, how will businesses using these traditional marketing platforms speak to the wallet addresses of users in Web 3? How will they properly onboard users in Web 3? How will they reward users in Web 3? Our Web 3 infrastructure platform is their immediate answer. We went to market starting with Web 3 companies like DAOs, decentralized finance protocols, NFT, and metaverse projects because they're already familiar with using Web 3 technologies like us, and they also have many Web 3 users we can acquire at the same time. And then we will end up disrupting the traditional marketing platforms that I mentioned earlier to help their direct-to-consumer brands migrate into the Web 3 space. With today's market sizes of digital marketing being valued at $500 billion and loyalty management being valued at $5 billion, our team is very, very excited to tackle this opportunity. I want to highlight that 7 of our pilot customers are in the top 20 largest and most active Web3 organizations today. And we're proud to announce that all of our customers will be moving forward and paying us more to launch new tasks, levels, and rewards in the next month. So as a team with years of experience with building and scaling multiple gaming and SaaS startups, we are now raising our seed round to expand our team, technology, and customer base for DAPPBACK. So whether it's as an investor or customer, if you want to begin your journey in Web3 where the next generation of users will be, let's talk. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Augustin, founder and CEO of CURIE. 3D is inevitable, and CURIE is supplying 3D to the web at scale using computer vision. Like the Matrix, 3D is the red pill. It's a big reset button for the web. Imagine a world without the things and brands you've come to love and enjoy. When it comes to 3D, the #1 problem facing businesses today is lack of content. 2D to 3D is an absolute requirement to supply the web at scale. There are currently 500 million products online as photo galleries, and to be ready for the metaverse, they need to be 3D. And there's simply no army on the planet to generate them all manually. So CURIE makes it so that the only ticket needed for the metaverse is a photo. CURIE brings tangibility to the web at scale, enabling consumers to see, wear, and bring the things that they own across worlds and technologies. Today, we provide immediate utility for brands through augmented reality commerce, and by default, get them metaverse ready for tomorrow. However, there's a problem. 3D is time-consuming and expensive. For example, we spoke to Walmart, and we spoke to Walmart's supplier for computer graphics. and they typically do movies and video games, and they were charging them 20 grand and took 2 months to provide one piece of furniture. And we did the math. Across 80 million products, it would take them 2,000 years to pay off a manual effort. So what we do at CURIE is actually pretty simple. We turn photos to 3D faster and cheaper with machine learning. And we monetize websites and apps as a plug-and-play API that businesses can use to showcase their products in 3D. And the way it works is that we index photos across the web. We use computer vision to generate the mesh, and in an automated way, texture and optimize for real-time 3D, designed for augmented reality, NFTs, and the metaverse. Items are sized to load within seconds, and are designed to load with millimeter precision. Our team has had a long history of firsts. We helped build the first version of Disney.com and Disney Store, the first sneaker reservation app for Adidas and Foot Locker. And we also founded GameSalad, the first no-code game creator for iOS, Android, and HTML5. We built this to 3 million brands and creators, reaching over 100 million players per month. That's the reach of a Fortnite with only 1% of their staff. We were Disney's first seed investment, and we were backed by Tim Draper, one of the first Web3 investors. CURIE applies a SaaS-based business model to 3D. So for every view, CURIE gets paid. It's the same pay-per-view model that powers 80% of the web. We have signed customers and pilots in play to generate 250,000 products. That's estimated traffic to be $1 million a month in revenue. We're currently partnered with StockX, which is the largest marketplace for collectible sneakers that gets about 100 million views per month. We're currently digitizing 25,000 shoes and 100,000 collectibles, replacing traditional photo galleries with rotatable 3D content and augmented reality for millions of sneakerheads to view items true to size for the very first time. Our beachhead are collectibles and hard goods, which are either too rare or too heavy to do try before you buy. Bottom up, we see this as a $2 billion opportunity, growing by a factor of 10 as this becomes a thing for all products, and a factor of 100 when you consider the traffic that goes to apps that consume 3D, like TikTok and Fortnite. Our end game is to be a metaverse of things and power a new generation of apps becoming the dominant way to experience products. And that's CURIE. Our round is oversubscribed, but if you're curious to learn more, you can scan the QR code. Thank you for your time.
Hey everyone, my name is Nick Lau. I'm the founder and CEO of Where. Where is the next-gen luxury Web3 platform bridging the physical and digital worlds. We sit at the cross-section of storytelling and technology to reshape the world of luxury products and experiences for a new generation of digital consumers. Meet Kelly, co-founder of Maison 62 Inc., a luxury eyewear label looking to enter the metaverse where most of her customers now congregate. Kelly is challenged to create products and experiences that these crypto-savvy consumers find engaging. The worst part, her team lacks the experience, expertise, and resources to fully execute a successful Web3 strategy. Where is purpose-built for brands like Maison 62 Inc. Our ecosystem provides our brand partners with 3 foundational specialisms to create product, curate experiences, and a marketplace to sell them. Our creative studio takes physical products and experiences, reimagines them with digital innovations, turning them into new creations. Kelly can now design and create digital collections with utilities for both the physical and digital world. She simply mint and sell her innovative Phygital collection, that's physical and digital, on our marketplace with tailored smart contracts. Last but not least, our warehouse provides beautifully designed galleries and spaces for her collectors and buyers to showcase their collectibles, adding a very important social component to our ecosystem, creating a community. We simplify the process of creating a Web3 collection. First, we work with our brand partners to determine the designs that be digitally and physically produced. We then integrate a randomization algorithm to render and generate thousands of digital assets linked to physical products and experiences, and mint it with tailored smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. Collections will then be launched on the Where platform, where brands have full control of their release. We know we're not the only ones creating a Web3 collection, so we always enhance the buying experience by adding an element of utility, exclusivity, and delights for both physical and digital worlds. Since founding, we've already partnered with a roster of global brands, artists, and IPs across fashion, art, music, and lifestyle from the luxury sector. We've also received a lot of media interest, intrigued and fascinated by how we are creating the next luxury digital ecosystem. Where will be the leading platform at the intersection of luxury and Web3 by bringing traditional retail strategies of scarcity and drop culture to the digital world. Our vision is to bring the coolest, hottest brands and IPs today into the Web3 space. Everyone is familiar with traditional omni-channel retail. But in recent years, the metaverse is proving to be a lucrative channel where digital consumers already spend over $100 billion on virtual goods and experiences. Luxury branded NFTs will be a big part of this market. Currently valued at $4 billion, but expected to increase 14 times to reach $56 billion by 2030. We're a digitally native team with years of experience in the luxury and Web3 space. Our team of advisors come from top luxury brands, agencies, and financial institutions central to our strategies. Our first branded partnership with luxury eyewear label A Society and up-and-coming artist Lousy, featuring 5,000 uniquely generated digital glasses, of which 250 of the rarest editions are physically produced as one-offs. Each is unique and one of a kind. Lastly, luxury brands and creators can finally take full control of the Web3 opportunity. If you're a brand, artist, press, or just someone interested in building in the Web3 world, head over to where-nft.com or scan the QR code next to me to join our ecosystem. Thank you for your time.
Hello again. We're closing it. Well, Pano's going to bring us up for a close here in just a minute. And I want to do another fireside chat with another of our investments. But before I do that, I hope you've noticed a theme throughout the entire day. Every single one of our startups that we've invested in here and talked about here today or invested in before has always been about the consumer and predicting the change in how the consumer and enabling the consumer to purchase products, services, care, entertainment better and where the future is going. But we couldn't do that if we didn't also address what are the problems with consumption and make bold bets on where we can fix the challenges that happen because of consumption. So you've seen us in prior events make announcements about rental and re-commerce finding alternatives to consumption and purchase and waste. I'm really excited for Darko to explain what he's doing because it bowled us over when he first explained the broadness and depth of what he is trying to accomplish, fundamentally changing how and what we eat that is really damaging to our planet. And I am just super proud to have MELIBIO is one of our portfolio companies. So without that, I'm not going to let you go, but I just wanted to know that it is just something that we're really excited about and see in the future of food.
Oh, thanks for having me. Hi, everyone. Let's talk a little bit about what are we going to eat very, very soon. I'll start by saying that if you walk into a supermarket, if you look into food, beverage, cosmetics, you won't be able to find a category that doesn't have at least one SKU made with honey. So everybody, my name is Darko Mandic, and I'm a co-founder and CEO of MELIBIO from San Francisco Bay Area. And we are the world's first company to make real honey without bees.
That is that's not an alternative to honey, real honey without bees. So what is real honey without bees?
So 10 years ago, I got my first job in a honey company. So that's an industry that I know really, really well. And, you know, thinking about animal products without an animal sounds really hard and complex, and it is. However, my company, MELIBIO, we figured out how we can work with the plants, with the amazing plants that we have on this planet, and how we can turn them into this, which is honey that looks like honey coming from the bees, tastes like honey coming from the bees, and behaves in the applications same as honey coming from the bees, just without you know, using bees anymore. And we need bees for so many reasons, and we decided to give them a break, finally.
Okay, so talk to me. So we now know what honey is without bees. Why? Why is honey without bees important?
So if you end up asking 10 people in New York if they know that there's a problem with the bees, probably 9 out of 10 would be able to tell you, oh gosh, something is terribly happening with the bees. But if you would want to dig deeper into understanding the problem, you would find that people actually don't know much about bees. So what we figured out and what we know is that commercial beekeeping and farmed bees are actually making non-farmed wild bees disappear. And you know, that was mind-blowing for me to learn about that a couple of years ago when I was working for one of the largest European honey companies, you know. And again, guys, bees that we keep in boxes to make honey are making other bee species disappear by over-competing for limited resources. And you know, here's a brief history class. Honeybees are actually not native to North America. They've been brought by Spanish conquistadors in 17th century. So, you know, with all that in mind, we're very excited to look into the future of food, where we can have our favorite products that were used to be made by animals and now to be made without animals. And you know, coming from San Francisco Bay Area ecosystem, where you can eat cell-based meat, plant-based meat, plant milk, fermentation-based dairy, and you know, finally honey without bees, I want to share that the future of food is really bright, and it's going to help us save the planet, save the animals, introduce efficiency, sustainability, and feed the 10 billion people that this planet will have in 2050.
Now, honey, and that honey, I'm assuming that's your honey.
That's correct.
Looks just like what I would put in my tea. But if I really want to change the planet, I really got to talk about the honey and sweeteners that are in the packaged goods that are all through the grocery store. How do you see that?
When we first got connected with XRC and the amazing team that you guys have here under Pano's leadership, you know, I was really happy that I had a chance to present you guys how honey industry works. Because honey is a product that's mostly being consumed when you buy some other product that contains honey, right? So if you go for Honey Nut Cheerios, there's honey in it. If you go for Kind bars, there's honey in it. So our idea was, let's build a company that can transform the industry. Let's build a brand around the story around the bees and around the company, but let's have the ability to transform the industry by partnering with amazing companies out there that are using honey as an ingredient. So, you know, connecting with XRC and learning about amazing companies that you have in your program, I was really excited to think about our company to be omni-channel, but also start with a B2B channel first, because there's a whole world of advantages by us going B2B first. And pun is intended here.
Yeah, I wasn't going to pick on that. So, well, the other one that's a pretty obvious question, and I know it's happened in beef and eggs and everywhere, that we've looked at alternatives to traditional food supply, is cost. So at the end of this, it's one thing to say, let's stop depending on invasive bees and give the native bees a break and figure out how to do that. But if we really want to make the change, that has to replace sweeteners. It has to ultimately be delivered at a price. Will that be possible? Will we be able to make sweeteners cheaply without bees?
By saying this, I'm risking that I'm going to be too controversial, but I'm going to prefer to be honest. No company in the world is going to save the world if the solution that they need to opt for costs them more.
Yeah.
So for all the companies out there to switch to our honey, there needs to be a path towards scalability that provides price to meet what they have right now and potentially go a little bit below that. So with that in mind, we put a lot of focus on research and development. Best scientists from Stanford, UC Berkeley are on our team. And we work with a robust network of suppliers across the world to figure out how we can get to the best plants, how we can scale plants, and how we can turn them into delicious honey, nutritious honey, the honey that Time magazine selected as one of the best inventions 2021, and how to deliver it at cost that no company in the world will have excuse not to use moving forward.
Right, and as a consumer in the audience, where are they most likely to see your product first?
So we're still not in the market yet. Today we had a fantastic event at 11 Madison Park Restaurant. We brought honey made without bees on their menu for a day, and proving that we can meet the standard of 3 Michelin star restaurant. That means that this honey can perform everywhere. For local people here in New York and Brooklyn, there's a cute little place called Little Chalk in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. If you go there and if you order crepe and ask for honey made without bees, they're going to get it for you. So that's the opportunity where all of you guys can taste MELIBIO before it hits the market.
So looking forward for the next 12, 18 months, what's your roadmap? Like, what are you working on? What are your large priorities?
So I think of, obviously you have this big vision to ultimately change and transform the industry that I've been part of. And obviously you think about business in terms of 12 to 18 months, but I like to think about the next step. That's how my brain works. So for us, next step is manufacturing, co-manufacturing in place in the United States, in the Midwest, most likely, and being able to start permanently getting on the menus of the restaurant and get at least one large B2B application by the end of this year and trigger the milestones to raise our Series A.
You just can't help yourself with the B2B. So do we have some samples today? So we're going to have a cocktail hour. There's several cocktails we could make with a little bit of honey.
So if you guys made an effort to have cocktails here, we for sure are going to spike your cocktails with this bee-free honey.
All right, so, well, that's terrific. So I guess I have a last question, which is, somehow, I remember in the early days of the alternatives to beef, you had real consumer concerns around everything, right? Safety, long-term issues, and it's not really beef, or is it real beef? Like, how do you address those fundamental issues with the change in consumer behavior and give the consumer confidence? How do you see that happening relative to the honey?
Obviously, there's a higher level of understanding what do you put in yourself as a food versus, say, a digital product that you subscribe for. And that's for a reason. And people should be concerned around what's the food that gets into their mouths and stomach. What I can say for MELIBIO that transparency is one of our key values. We've been transparently communicating with the audience, with the industry around us not having anything in our product that's not naturally found in honey. So we just figure out how we can replace the medium. All the plant stuff, all the components of honey that you would usually find in honey made by the bees is found here. So with that in mind, I can guarantee that people choosing our product, they will see that it's a safe product, it's a quality product, and there's a company behind it with an industry leader that cares about quality and that will make sure that our honey will only make you happy.
Terrific. Well, I really thank you for coming. Are there any last things you think it's important for the audience to understand?
Yeah, I would like, as a founder, obviously, in my closing remarks, I would like to share how important it is to have right investors on board. Cap table, entrepreneurial journey is very challenging. Cap table is something that makes or breaks startups. So I just want to share how excited I am with getting backed by XRC Labs, by the amazing team there, and the amazing connections that you made for us to talk to other corporates. And I just hope, as my final message to founders, pick your investors wisely. Go for the people that you feel like you'll be able to have hard and great conversations and make that your priority, because your investors are your company and they're going to help you make great success, or they're going to become another burden in your entrepreneurial journey, and you don't want that. So I'm so thankful to have XRC on our cap table.
Well, I'm glad I let you do that closing remark. Thank you. All right, thanks everybody, and I look forward to seeing you at the cocktail hour.